So welcome everyone. Welcome to another iWIN live interview edition. And today I am thrilled because I get to chat with somebody that I've known now for years, that I've met at conventions, and we've got to be friends. I've chatted with her and her husband, and we see each other at some point, literally almost every year somewhere. But she's been airing sweepstakes a long time. She's won a ton of really cool stuff, and she's actually going to chat in general with us, but then tell us about two very unique experiences. One that just happened where she was on The Price is Right. So we're going to talk about that. So without further ado, let me bring in Miss Velma Green.
Hi. Hi, my sweeping friends.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Well, to start, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how
Okay.
you got involved in sweepstakes.
Okay. My name is Velma Green. I live in Hoppers Ferry, West Virginia. I'm a retired math high school teacher. I taught for 30 years. I am also retired from United Airlines. I worked there for United for 21 years. So I am working on my third retirement, and hopefully in 2.5 years, I'll be retired for good. I've always been excited about prizes and winning. And I remember my first, I guess, contest I entered. I was in middle school or high school. I think it was 12, so I must have been in middle school. And I was in middle school, and the local newspaper had this contest around Christmas time, and they would show different ads, and they would ask questions, and you had to read the ad to ask the questions. And then the last part, in 25 words or less, you had to talk about why you wanted to win. And I remember writing a poem, and I sent it in. I had to mail it in, and I did it faithfully, and I won. And I put something about I'm only 12, I don't drive, or whatever. I can't remember the poem back then. It was 50 years ago. But I won, and it was a $25 gift card to one of the stores. And you would have thought I won thousands of dollars. So that was my first big win. So after that, I was home. I lived in like Virginia Beach, and I was reading this article in the paper, and this lady had won something like $25,000, and the article said it didn't matter that had never she had never eaten the bread, she had never seen the bread before, and it was talking about she had entered a sweepstakes for it, some bread and company, and she won, and it was talked about this newsletter but is now defunct. But if you're interested, please submit. So I said, well, let me do this, and I submitted and got an issue of it. And every month, I will enter one white envelope. I didn't know anything about colored envelopes. I didn't know anything about anything. I just in it. Did I ever win? No. I mean, I went on for years. Every month, I got that newsletter, and every one of those contests I wanted to win, I did. Never won anything. But I don't know. I guess I was just a glutton for, I don't know, due diligence. I don't know why I kept doing it. I would do say that one time I was dating this guy. And I went to his apartment, and he had all these envelopes and stamps. I was like, what is all this? He said, one day my ship will come in. And I was like, oh, that's fake. You ain't gonna ever win. He said, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you ain't into it, it's okay. But you're not gonna put me down. Not in my place. I said, oh, I'm sorry. And I never went out with him again. He never called me again. But anyway, that was kind of like the beginning of mine. So I got married, and I moved to Maryland. And I never forget, I was at a funeral, still doing my little one envelope. I was at this funeral, and this lady was talking to me at the funeral, and she had bought some cards, and she was doing it. She was telling me, and we started talking about things. So, are you a member of Sweep Sheet? And I said, no, I never heard of that. And she says, well, she sent me a copy. And then I thought it was a convention. It was in Arizona. I said, I am going. I did not know one person there. I didn't know anything about it. I went there, and you would have thought, I mean, I guess I must have had a lucky charm. I won so much. They had to mail me my stuff because afterwards, I mean, it was so much. I won a quilt, it was worth $500. And that was years ago, And, a handmade quilt about cats. I won. And so I was hooked ever since. And then I learned, I joined a club in Virginia, and I just learned the craft. So I developed it.
Yep. There's definitely a learning curve, and it makes me laugh when you say, "I got my first big win. It was this $25 gift card," because that's how we all feel, and we've all went through that. When you finally win something, you're like, "Wow, this is actually real. People really do win this stuff." Um, so let's talk about your recent experience, which was one of the reasons I wanted to invite you and have you on. So you decided to go try and be on The Price is Right.
Yes. Well, I got an email evidently sometime, must have been sometime in my life, and I don't know, I can't even remember when or what, but I must have signed up that I was on a, interested in tickets for them. And so I got a letter, email to say that they had tickets available. So I looked at the tickets, and they had kind of three types of tickets. They had priority tickets, and that meant that they can guarantee you will come in, and they never can guarantee you'll be on the stage. The second part were just general tickets. They say, well, we can't guarantee you'll be in, but it's a very strong possibility you'll be in. You can go in. And then the next one was they had special shows. They had like Survivor. Well, I haven't watched Survivor since the first issue, so I knew I wasn't that. They had in-laws. I was like, oh, I can't really go with my in-law, So they had different all the shows I could not relate to. So I said, let me just put priority. I picked a Thursday, and I picked the date, and I got them. I think you could get up to 4 tickets. I think I got two. So now, because I am I hate to use this word because people think negative of it, but I'm an opportunist. Like I said, I work for the airline, so I can fly. So flying to California was no problem for me. I currently work for the Hilton Hotel, so hotel is no problem. So I booked my hotel, $40. I booked my flight and my mother and I. So we went out there to California. So I had contacted Wendy because she had a nice iWIN T-shirt, and I said, Wendy, how did you do those lights? And she told me that how she had done the lights, and I was like, I can't do all that. So I'm there the night before, sewing lights on my shirt because I wanted my shirt to shine. So we went there. We got there early. I mean, so early because I didn't know how it was. I hear about this California traffic. It was no traffic. And so we went to the mall to kind of calm our nerves and shop and whatever. So we got that. And they share a parking lot with a church. I think it's a Korean church. So they don't have church service on Thursday. So, they had the parking lot. Now we parked, and I saw this young girl standing out, and she had a poster in her arm, and she was waiting on the Uber. And I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, "Did you get on?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Tell me, how did you get on?" She said, I had more energy than anybody in that place." I said, "All right, girlfriend." I said, "Would you win?" She said, "Oh, a whole bunch of stuff." She said it like that. Well, I one time went to the Steve Harvey show years ago, and I know they said that when you step foot, you never know, cameras around, people are watching you. So I made sure I always had a smile on my face. I was always energetic. I was gonna work it. So we went around, and this we aired in August, and the show was in November. So that's the difference. So in August in California, it's hot. Yes, I was sweating. It was hot. So we had to stand outside because I guess the other group was in, and that's another thing you may not know that they do 3 shows a day. They air 3 shows a day. So I was on the third show. And the couple, so we were number two. My mother and I were number two in line, and the couple in front of me was they had been to the show before. It was their anniversary. They had gone 10 years earlier. So if you win, and you may not know this, you can only win. I can go again, but I can't win for another 10 years.
Wow.
So yeah, for 10 years. So we're talking to them, and they had gone, and I can't remember if they won or not, but anyway, they were at the show, and it was gonna be 10 more years. They say they get married, they'll come again. I said okay. So the lady behind me, she was from some part of California, but she had flown there. Her and her son was supposed to be on, but her son went gaming or something like that. So you're talking to people, and then they're bringing you water and snacks, and then they give you paperwork to fill out, so you pip it, and they're taking people in and have to go to the bathroom. So finally, we get to go in. We go in, and you go through. I think the first one I can't remember the first one. They were telling us. I forgot what the first station was, and the second station was you had to um, give your license, and they make copies of your license. And so then they put us in a seat. Well, it was a gentleman in front, and he was pumping the crowd, and they were showing videos of the show. He had music. He was dancing. People up dancing, and the lady, it was a lady sitting in front of me, and she was trying real hard to be on because she just kept dancing, and she would go up with the gentleman and dance. And I said, oh, she's trying a little bit too hard. I was thinking to myself. But anyway, so then I guess it was maybe about 10 on our row, 10, 15 people. They would take us each row to the back. They took us to the back, and there were two people there. One lady didn't even see her face. She was just down writing. She was writing. The other lady were asking questions. So they would ask a question like just general questions like, what do you do? Where'd you come from? Or something like that. One question, one or two questions. So my mother, they asked her, what do you do? And she says, oh, I'm a veteran. I was in the military, and my mother's 88 years old, and I am a retired teacher. And they said, well, thank you for your service. She said, I enjoyed every minute. That's what she said. So then my turn came. I said, I'm a retired teacher. And she said, oh, like your mother. I said, please shh, be quiet. We don't want to get her head any bigger. And they all laughed at that. And so they went on, and then the girl beside me, who I've been talking to, she was like, "Well, I own a business, and I closed, and I did." And they would say, "Well, ma'am, if you win, you can't mention your business on the air." She said, "Oh yeah, no, like that." So anyway, they went on with us, and then when we finished, we went out. Now I did notice that the lady that was writing, she came out because they had a coffee station near me, and she went to go get some coffee. She didn't look at anybody. She was looking straight ahead. She was just not having it. So she went and got twice. She came out and got coffee and never looked. So after everybody had gone, and like I said, they tell you it takes about 6 hours for this process. And so afterwards, we finally go into the theater. So we go into the theater, and we have people kind of like, well, how many people? And I said two. My mama said three. The lady behind us, and I said three. I said two. So we sat down. I said, Mama, she wasn't smiling. She had no energy. I don't want her with us like that. So we're there, and they're playing music, and they're trying to get the crowd hyped. And I'm talking beside this guy, and I really hope he's not listening. But his breath was not the best around. And I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot, because I'm smiling, and I'm like inside going, oh, holding my breath. So I said, let me set up a dance. So I just set up and kept dancing and moving. And they were saying, so they came out and told us some things. They said, well, listen, when we call your name, we're also going to put your name on this poster board so you can see it. And and then I went, oh, that's why the girl had a poster board, because I couldn't figure out. I said, well, why does she have a poster board out here? And so they said that. So we're just dancing, and I didn't think I was going to get on. I really thought my mother would, because her shirt said, veterans want to come on down too. And I knew that Drew was a veteran and my mother's a veteran. I said, oh, she's going to get it. But anyway,
What did your shirt say for those who haven't seen it yet?
it was just a plain old shirt. But what I did was I went around and put lights all around. And you really couldn't even, if you look really hard, I think you could see it, but you really couldn't even see it. So it lit up. So I think it was like the third time they called my name, and I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. I heard Green, but Green is a common name. I didn't want to embarrass myself. And I even saw the poster. I didn't see Velma. All I saw was Green. And my mother kept saying, yeah, they call you. My mother's like, so I get up and I go down. I was like, okay. And so now I tell you, that's when the surreal moment happened. I can't even remember anything else after that. Okay. That was it. I go to the front. There was a lady and a gentleman sitting, like, I guess, beside or behind me. And the first thing I think was a pizza oven, outdoor pizza oven. I didn't know. So I'm asking her, hey, you know what? And she tells me 1800. I said 1800. Of course, that was just out of the craziness. I didn't even know. The second was a wash and dryer. I didn't know. So the third time, it was an elderly lady. And I said, oh my goodness. And she comes down. So I'm looking at, I didn't know I was going to be the last one, because I guess they do reverse or whatever. And the guy beside me, he had been there since the beginning. He had not won. And even Drew said, I know who I want to win. I want Calvin to win. And I was like, oh, for real? And I saw they edited that. It was not up there because he had been since the beginning. So I was the last one. So, I did that $1 trick. I said $1 and won. I was like, okay. So I went on stage. Now, something else you may not know, if you get called up, but you never go on stage, those people get $300. So we got $300. So we go up and we get on stage, and I had that game. Now I didn't even. I had to go back and look at it again because I didn't know there's only $150 range. Your thing has to be. And
I
I was
have watched the episode, and so yeah, your prize was this amazing trip to Finland, and you had to come predicting the price within $150 of it.
now, granted, I work for the airline, but you got to figure out travel to Finland, hotel. They had breakfast one night at the sauna. They a rent a car. I was like, I don't know how much all this is. Oh, the audience is going to help me. So I'm like, audience, help me. And he said, stop. So I barely made it. It went in, and I was like, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, for those who aren't aware of the game, basically, it's a range of probably $1,500, $2,000, and this little bar keeps moving higher. And you say stop, and then they reveal the price, and the price needs to be in that range that you've stopped it on.
And that range is $150. So that's
I
close.
was shocked that you failed, truthfully.
Well, you know,
Have a lot of room.
excuse me. You know, I afterwards I watched the show more. My mother said, "You watched the show more than you did." I said, "Yes." And I'm looking at those games, and some of them are very, very hard. I was like, "Oh God, I'm so glad I didn't get some of these things. I would have been embarrassed." But it was in the range, so I was very, very pleased. The beginning though, I did get some tools for beauty care. It was like $1,800. And they did arrive. I had to pay taxes. You had to pay taxes. And they did arrive the other day. It was like 13 items, and they run anywhere from like 50 to like 250 a piece. And it's like tools. And so if you know anybody wants good skincare, let me know. I tell you, I have a lot
But
of
when you
tools.
say you have to pay taxes, is it like a sweepstakes? You get paperwork later on, or do you
No,
like
before I could
write
get
a
the
check?
item, I had to, before I got the item, I had to pay.
That's
And
what I.
they gave me a letter to say that I'm paying California taxes because, I'm gonna be paying state taxes for West Virginia. And they say it may change because they estimated that the trip, the flights were 5,000 a piece. So they don't
Wow.
know how big. And so that came the other day. And just today I was looking outside, and it's a vanity, and the vanity has a USB port, and it said it was worth $4.99. Well, sure enough, I went to Best Buy online, and that is $4.99. Now, another tidbit you may not know: you don't have to take everything that you get. You can pick and choose. So what they did, they had the trip, they had the vanity, and they had the tools. So if I didn't want the tools, I didn't have to get. I could have put in and said, "No, I don't want that. Just send me the other things." Something you may not know
No, I
about.
did not know that.
Okay. So then there is a gentleman, and he's talking to us the whole time, telling us what's going to go next. Now, if you want, here's another Jim, I'm telling you. So on the show, you see contestant one, two, three, and then the wheel. Contestant four, five, six, and then the wheel. Well, they do one, two, three, four, five, six, wheel, wheel at the back, because to bring the wheel back out and bring in the stage is not that big. It's not that big at all. So um, they're telling you, they're talking about, and they're telling us exactly what's going to happen. It's a guy telling us every step. You're going to go to the wheel, you're going to spin it. When you finish, you go to the left. But then, he's telling you like that. He's telling all of us. So we go to the wheel, and I don't even remember. I don't even remember. So
So the first person busted out. First person spun busted out. So they were eliminated.
but so they were over $1.
Yeah, they went over a dollar. They got like 30 cents, and then I think they got like 75. So they were over
Oh,
a dollar, they were out. The next person went, and I believe got 80 cents. And so they were 80 cents, and now it was up to you. And you spin and get,
I don't know. I forgot.
I can't remember if you got, I think you got 85.
Okay.
I think you got
Okay.
85. I mean, it was enough on your first spin that you won heading
Uh-huh.
to the showcase.
Like you said, it became a surreal moment. So I don't remember, but I won. And so the guys over there talking to the two people, me and the young lady. That's another thing. The other lady, she had won cash. So when it came to her taxes, she didn't have to pay taxes. They were going to take out the money that they were going to give her. So they're telling us, this guy who's telling us, he says, okay, what's gonna happen? You're gonna go up here, blah blah blah. He said, and his last thing he said, please do not overbid. He said, lately everybody keeps overbidding and we're not giving away. Please don't overbid. So that was the last thought in my mind. So granted, my bid was conservative. I have not bought a car in 12 years. My last car my husband bought, so I don't even know about prices. I know I've heard from everybody, why'd you bid that? But anyway, so I won the most between the trip and the beauty stuff. So I got to the showcase and I can choose whether to give. So the first one was, um, I think it was iPhones, and I don't do an iPhone. Plus, it was trips to New
Australia.
Zealand, Australia,
Yeah.
New Zealand. I have been to Australia, I've been to New Zealand. Okay. So I passed it on to the young lady beside me. Then mine was a car. Well, I kid you not, my car was in the shop as we spoke, needing
They got you saying that on
yeah,
camera.
I heard that, and I needed a new car, and I said, oh, so it was some tools for something with the grass or something. So anyway, and a coffee station or something like that. So I said, I think 27. So of course everybody's like, Velma, car costs 30,000. I've heard it every day, but anyway. But I always think things happen for a reason, and I'll tell you later about that. But anyway, so when it came to, she won. So then we go into the back, and I kid you not, this lady, she tells them, we're sitting beside each other, we have paperwork to fill out and everything. She says, you know, um, and I don't know if she's a sweeper. I've never seen her before. I don't know. She said, we found out we're from Scotland, and my sister and I, that's our dream trip to go to Scotland. And I was just wondering if I can go to Scotland, the one trip instead of the two trips. And I'm looking at, okay. And they're like, no. Then she says, well, can I give this trip to my daughter? She might like it. And they said, no, it's not transferable. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, she's really bold here asking these questions. But you fill out your paperwork. And as far as the trip to Finland, I had to give them 3 dates and to find out what I wanted. And if for something, they say they know things happen. So if I couldn't go, something came up, I couldn't go, they'll change it again. But the second time, I have to pay for the change fee. They did say that. So I I did not read over the paperwork. I'll be honest with you, and they said they were going to send me the tax form. So I just happened going, what? I haven't gotten these things. Let me look. Well, they said they were going to send it like I think a couple weeks before it aired. That's another thing too. They made me sign paperwork. I could not tell anybody. So you're talking about I just put it out. I didn't even tell my sister. I put this out in my mind. And my mother who tells everything, I was so surprised that she kept it. So we kept it as a secret. My in-laws were like, we went on a trip together for a whole week and you didn't say one word. So I just really forgot all about this trip. It was just that. And so when I realized it, I wrote them and they said they had sent me the letter, and I guess I must have missed it, whatever. But anyway, they gave it to me again. My tax, they reach out. I gave them to send them the taxes, money order. So I've gotten, and today, really, the vanity came. So I have that, and I guess I better look out for the trip part of it. But anyway, so that's it. Um, I felt that Drew was a little like kind of tired. Like now, between show, he between in the commercials, he would come out and talk, and he was saying, well, he had been recently diagnosed with glaucoma, and he was taking medicinal marijuana for it. I don't know if it was a joke or he was real. He wasn't like joking; he was for real. So I don't know. And I felt he was a little, but if I do 3 shows a day, I'm sure my third show I'll be out of energy too.
Right. It was at the end of the show.
It wasn't that much, huh?
It was the last show of the day. Well,
Yeah.
one thing to mention, just in general, to people who don't maybe enter sweepstakes or understand sweepstakes, but most of the time when you win something, when you win a trip, pretty much anything like tickets and stuff, you can't really usually transfer them. I know every now and then, like if it's tickets to a football game, you might be able to, but trips, it's your trip. You need to go on it. You can't give it away. You can't change it. You can't get a cash alternative unless it happens. Sometimes it's mentioned in the rules. So there, that's very common to know amongst myself, Velma. So in fairness, that person, she may never have won anything in her life. She may have and been trying to do that, because I know a lot of people who win stuff all the time who ask that question too. So
I mean, and I can't, me being a sweeper, I would, like I said, I would never have asked because I knew. And as a matter of fact, I was watching maybe a month ago, and that same trip came up. So I'm sure they get him from, and I was like, I know how much it costs. I really know how much it costs. But I thought about the same exact everything came up. But like I said, she might not have known, and I read the room, so I'm looking at the two ladies, and they're looking like, like she asked us this. And then she was like, well, maybe my daughter wants it. Like, I don't even want it. And I thought, but anyway, she went on. So that was my trip. I cannot go back for another. Well, I can go back. I can't win for 10 years. And I can, the show one, what's it? Let's Make a Deal. I can go in a year. So next August, I will try maybe to go on Let's Make a Deal. So that's 1 year. So really, because during COVID they did that a lot smaller audience, and they even did on at home version. That was the best time probably to do it. Now the audience is larger. I do know somebody who went there on last Monday. They went to the price. They were on The Price is Right. And they told me they didn't win, but I don't know. It could be the same thing. I don't know. But they said, "Oh no, we didn't win anything." So I said, "Okay."
to be determined. And for those who want to watch your episode, you can still see it on Paramount Plus. I realized, because I wanted to rewatch it for this, that you had to have Paramount Plus to watch it. So, but it's November 16th, the November 16th episode. So if you have Paramount Plus, you can go, you can click on it, and then you can watch the full episode. You can watch all the full episodes of it again.
Mhm.
Well, congrats on that. I want to talk about one other topic, and you and I have talked about this throughout the years, but there's certain stories that I've heard over the years, and this is truly one of my favorite stories of all time, and it's of a big win you had with your sweepstakes club at a Baltimore Orioles game. So I'll kind of frame it like that and let you kind of take over and tell the story.
Okay. Um, okay. So I live in West Virginia, but I worked in Virginia. I taught in Virginia. So I was a member of the Nova, which means Northern Virginia Sweepers, Nova Sweepers. I was a member of that. And we would get together on occasionally, and we would just sit around and just do sweeps. We'll drink our wine, and we will eat food. So we went to one time, and one girl, she had some OEBs, official entry blanks, and she said, this is for a Baltimore Orioles game. It's for, I think, I want to say 15 people, and it's free food and drinks. And it was by Dwyer's Ice Cream. And she says, so if one of us wins, the others will come. We said, okay, no problem. And sure enough, um, one lady, another lady who was there won. So I know it was like 15, 16 people could come, but she only got a limited number of parking passes. I said, oh, no problem. We'll park. We'll go, my husband and I. Well, that particular day, well, I had gone out, and we had I think a Reebok or Nike outlet, and I got bright orange shirts. And I almost got a pair of tennis shoes. I said, nah, I'm not going to overdo it. I'm just going to bring my bright orange shirt. So I had him. It wasn't an Oreo shirt, but it was orange, and it was bright. So that particular day was on a Saturday. My husband says, okay, the game starts at 7. We're going to leave at 5. I said, bet. So I had my shorts on. I was going to wear some shorts, and I had my jeans shorts, but I didn't put the shirt on. I had a meeting at my house. So the people were sitting around just talking. And I'm like, it's 4:45. They're still talking. Let me sit. So I started packing up boxes. I was like, okay, y'all going to take some food home. I got to go. I go upstairs. My husband is not ready. He is not shaved or anything. So of course we have to shave and everything like that. We're driving there. We get near, because we got to park in a parking garage. And I said, and it was like cash. I said, I don't have any cash. She said, I don't either. So then of course we have to go to the like a store, 7-Eleven or something, the ATM machine, and I go in and all these kids are around, like they looking at it like they playing it like it's a slot machine. I was like, excuse me. I kind of move the kids. I get the money. We go back. That parking spot is taking. We have to go even further away. Now, granted, I had cooked all morning for this meeting. I had a meeting, and then 7 o'clock, I got to be up all night. But I'm going, and I'm walking. So my husband goes, of course, the game has already started. It was after 7, I would say 7:20 maybe. And he says, go in that line. I don't, I guess okay. I noticed that there's a lady in front of me. Now, granted, she, is at the turnstile, but she's not moving. I was like, why is she moving? I give my tickets. I try to go in and I get there and she turns around. She flips around. Congratulations, you're the 100th million fan. And I was like, okay, thank you. I knew nothing what she was talking about. Next thing I know, confetti, and then the bird is and Orioles coming out, jumping up and down. I said, "Well, this must be something real here." And she said, "Do you know what you won?" And I was like, "Not really. No, I don't." Oh, and then she says, "You won season tickets for 5 years." And so, I had to get excited. I was like, oh, "Okay, yes, yes, yes." And then, you won $100,000. So now, I'm excited. And I go in and so after that they said they take me to the back. I said, we're gonna put you out between the second and third inning. I said, okay. Now, granted, this was my first game. I didn't even I didn't even know any players or anything. Here I am, like, oh, and this my best friend lives in Baltimore. She was like, the city we had been talking about it. Everybody's been talking, been going, trying to get to the games. Everybody wanted to do it. They knew about it. I knew nothing about it. So they said that normally, one of the things that they would do was they would upgrade me, but I was in a suite. And they were like, oh, I said, my friends are here. Well, they went to the suite to go get my friends. Now they're looking at the three of us, and they were sweeping friends. One girl was the one who had the forms that just happened, and the other girl was the lady who had won it. And they're looking like, uh, we don't like we go together. They're like, y'all know each other. I said, yeah. So how do y'all know each other? They're asking these questions. And so one goes, oh, we're in a book club. And I'm like, I don't even. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's what they said. We were in a book club together. So anyway, because they said, well, we normally my Steeler, even still love them. Okay. They I so anyway, I go out and I think I but anyway, I go out and I'm waving. I'm in this surreal moment again. It's was my first surreal moment I've had. I think, and this was like 15 years ago. So I go out and I'm waving everybody, and so I go back and they have the huge check because they give me the check, and I go back. So they said, "Oh, we'll be in contact with you." I said, "Okay." So I left. Now I will tell you that they were playing New York. I knew more I knew more New York players than I did Baltimore, and I felt bad. Who didn't know? And I thought to myself, they were not gonna get later on. I processed things and I said they did not want to give that money. They were not going to give all that gift to a Yankees fan. Well, I understood there were 75% of the people there were Yankee fans. And I understand Yankee, and they said Boston fans, they come to Baltimore and it's cheaper for them to go to a game and that's to get the hotel and everything than to go to a game in New York or Boston. First of all, every seat is good. So you don't have bad seats. And so 75%. And they saw that orange shirt, and I guess I got picked. So they were waiting on me to get there. So I went, and then after this, of course, we go down to the suite and everything like that. Well, I don't hear anything else. So one of my friends, she says, Velma, I went on the website and they said, you want a big screen TV. I went, okay. So my mother's in my ear. Well, did they call you today? Did he bring you tickets? I was like, they give you your check? No, no, I don't want to call those people, Mama. They will, they will. So then, she's so I said, okay. So about maybe a week goes past, and I said, hello, I was just calling to see if I needed any paperwork to fill out. Blah, blah. And she said, you haven't got your check yet? And I was like, no. Then the check came from the Maryland lottery. I don't know what happened, but within 24 hours, I had my check. So I called my mother, Mom, guess what? I got the check. You know what she says? What about that TV? I went, oh my God, I got to call these people. And it was almost the end of the season. So they said, well, when the season, it's out in the season, when it happens, we'll call you, come get the TV. And sure enough, I did. So I got a shirt that says 100th million fan. Now they also gave one to the 50th, I think 50,000 or something. They gave another prize earlier that week to another gentleman. And they gave me, so they got everything. And then for 5 years, I got season tickets. Now that's a lot of games. It's 81 home games. So my husband had an uncle who lived in Baltimore. So he loved baseball. So he got a lot of, anytime anybody asked for tickets, I gave him tickets because I could not, I'm teaching during the day. I cannot get over to Baltimore like that. But anyway, I did sell some of them. I don't care. Like I used to sell the season opening, and I don't care what price I put. It went within 20 minutes. I kept saying this is gonna be too high. I mean, they love. And one of my friends that went, she caught a ball. She caught the ball, and they had her on ESPN catching the ball. She's an athlete, so she was an athlete, so she did. Um, now and they gave me a ball was signed by all the members. I'm trying to think what else I got. And I will say that I had to pay taxes, of course, for the $100,000. But after that, the tickets, there was no value. I never had to pay taxes on that every year. So that was good. And when they called me, they did the season holds, and then they called me to find out what seats I want. And my father had died. And I said, I'm so sorry. My father died today. I'm not in that frame. I can't do it. If you all pick out some nice seats for me, I will be happy. And they said, oh, I'm so sorry. And they gave me, and so I had good seats all the time. Uh, so I do want to say that I believe in giving. I believe they're takers and they're givers. I am a giver. So let me tell you this story that happened 3 days before this. The game was on a Saturday. This happened on Thursday. I'm a school teacher. I taught high school math. So I had a student, and I taught her freshman, sophomore year, I think. But she came back her junior year, and she showed me her picture. And I was like, Amanda, what's wrong with this gown? She said, well, I didn't have a gown. Her parents were divorced. I don't have a gown. I borrowed one. I said, listen, honey, you're a basketball player. You got a lanky body. You can't wear it. So next year, we're going to go out and get all your prom. So her senior year, we went out and I got her prom dress, earrings, the whole bit. Then she got a scholarship, play basketball, and she had a full ride. Well, it's a full ride, but there's some things they don't pay for. So I would say, listen, let's go out and get your things. So we got all her books and notebooks and pencils, her all of that, and we would get her deodorant, things like that, all the kind of things I would take her out. And I used to spend about $300. So every year we'd go over to Target. She just fills what she needs, and I would do it. Well, her junior year, she decides, I don't want to stay on the dorm. I'm going to stay in my own apartment. So you need more things. We need pots and pans. We need a bed. So that $300, now I spent over $1,000. So I'm like, now how am I gonna go home and tell my husband I done spent over $1,000 on Amanda, and he doesn't even know Amanda. So that happened that Thursday before the win. So we went out and got everything she needed for her schooling, and then that blessing came to me a couple of days later. So I do believe in, you know, when I give it, it comes back to me. Um, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I hope I got all the points, and I can't. That's a
Oh,
picture.
I think you've done wonderful, and I appreciate it. Our members appreciate it. I mean, I've seen firsthand what you do for conventions and for other people. Even myself and the support and things you've done for me over the years, it's phenomenal. What the last thing I want to cover is just what mistakes do you think sweepers make, especially when they're starting out, and what advice? I think you've covered some of the advice you'd give them, but in general, what advice you would give someone who decides to do this hobby?
Well, I don't know if it's a mistake, but I will tell you, I I when I was in college, I took a class in handwriting. And I have seen some handwriting, and I'm like, I don't even know how they even won. So one time, and I won't mention the sweep because it's still out here. They do it every year, all the time. Yeah. So they called me about a prize because some prize was returned. They wanted to see it was mine. And I said, no, I got the prize. So then they said, can I tell you something personal? I said, yes, ma'am. She says, I must say, you have one of the best handwritings I have ever seen. And I said, well, I was a teacher. I had to take a handwriting class when I was in college. She says, I'm gonna tell you, I get some of them, I can't read, and if I can't understand it, I just throw it out. I don't sit there and try to figure out if this is a 7 or 4. If it's something, if it's questionable, I just throw it out and keep going. And I thought, wow. And I have seen some handwriting. So I was it's like, I don't know if it's a mistake, but if your handwriting is questionable, or ask somebody you think that you value their opinion. Can you read this? Is it hard to read? Because you never know. When she said that, I don't know how many other because they do their own drawings, but I don't know how many other, especially like you said, it's I know a lot of people going online now, so that helps a lot to do things. But if you one who will send something in, and because I'm one on them too, just make sure your handwriting, because you may have somebody like this lady who says, I'm not gonna sit there and try to figure out if this is a P or Q or whatever. She says, I just throw it out and keep it moving. And I thought, oh wow. So just make sure that
That
you're
definitely does happen a lot. I always talk about LI1, making those very distinct if you're doing mail-in entries so they don't get confused or mixed up. So what advice would you give a sweeper in our hobby?
okay. I would just okay, so I had taken a 2-year hiatus from sweeping and really missed it. And my prizes were very evident. I didn't go to meetings. I had been involved in another organization that I put a lot of effort. And then finally I said, I missed my sweeping. I'm going to have to back down on you all and put more into sweeping. And I have, and I've seen the results from that. But I think that if you're not, if when it's no longer fun, take a break, step back. I mean, I hear people complain about the gifts. Let me tell you, if I win a T-shirt, if I win, I can't think of the least amount. But if I win something, you would think I can get all excited in the house. You would think I have won $1 million. And my husband's like, I won, I won. He's like, what? I said, it was a T-shirt. And he looks like, okay, like that. So not to say you have to be over the top, but everything I get or I give, everything I receive, I'm so happy with it. So, and yeah, and that burns me up when people, not burns me up, but it gets under my skin a little bit when I hear people complain, or, why do you, if it's one prize and you don't want that prize, like, why did you enter? Why did you waste your time? Why are you getting this item? And so I don't understand. And that's what I'm saying. When it's no longer fun, because it's a hobby, and it's no, and you have problems with it, you don't want it, you complain, maybe you need to step back. Okay, that's my advice to people.
No, I appreciate that. And I echo that. I mean, it's kind of what I say all the time. I mean, it's such a wonderful hobby, and you, myself, so many others have so many stories and have been blessed by just amazing prizes, experiences. Do you have a bucket list item or prize that now that you're back actively entering that you're searching for?
Well, my thing this year is I want to win enough items. Well, I love gift cards are my favorite because when I don't have money, I can go shopping. That's why I love gift cards. But my this year, I want to win enough prizes, and that I don't have to, because I have a Christmas list for like 20 something people. So if I don't have to spend any money at Christmas, that's what I want. So it started off, I was telling time before that I had won uh, NFL ticket. Well, it's in the season, so it's over. So they had to give me a Visa gift card. So because I got that Visa gift card, I was able to go and get some Amazon cards. So I'm putting away in my Christmas box, and I have a Christmas box, and they're gonna be my gifts. So I love that, and it's happened so much to me. I won to Rock, what's it called, Rock resort. I want to, supposed to be, it's mostly skiing. It is a golf, and my husband's a golfer. So we were going to go to this golf. And, I won, it was worth $5,000. Well, I got a letter like 2 days later that says, we're just going to give you a Visa card. So this gave me, $5,000 Visa card, which was good. And they were my gifts one time, so I've won. I love, like I said, gift cards. The loft, they had that. I sent one my name, one my husband, the plane, the postcards you get from the post office, just sent one in, him in. I won $2,000 gift card. And I was really happy because my mother, it was during the pandemic, and she was ordering like crazy. And like I said, Mom, stop. I'm just so bored. So I was able to give her $1,000 card. I said, go shopping. So she was able to shop and till she dropped it. I kept her 1,000. So I like that. Um, and Sephora had theirs. I was able to win quite a few, quite a few gift cards, like $8,000 in gift cards. So that was another. And I read the rules, and I worked that plan, and it worked out. So like I said, gift cards are my favorite.
No,
So now I've already started my bucket of gifts because, like I said, I won that recently. So that's my gift cards, and I want to have a stress-free Christmas where I'm not spending one penny.
that's a great goal, and a lot of people do that because it's very achievable. It definitely helps out with Christmas presents, birthday presents, you name it. So thank you so much for taking the time and joining us. I can't honestly thank you enough. I know we've talked about this a while, and appreciate you sitting down and taking the time to do this.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. All right. Good luck, everybody.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. Hopefully you enjoyed this wonderful conversation with Miss Velma Green. We will have more of these, so stick on. Make sure you're following our YouTube channel. We will definitely have more of these coming up. Thank you.